I'm Roy back once again. Well, today I got another thrift store pickup for you. I was at the local thrift store, the one I usually go to, the CHKD over in Portsmouth, and I got there and the shelves were totally bare, and I was really disappointed. But as I was getting ready to leave, I noticed that my favorite lady there was coming out with a huge bin. And when I went to look, it was filled with stereo components. Now, generally speaking, I don't need any stereo components. Like, they had a lot of receivers there. A really nice Kenwood receiver, but it's nothing I need at the moment. But once she finished putting them up, the very last thing she put up was this right here. This is an Onkyo stereo cassette deck R1. I don't know if there are any other model numbers on here. I think that was what they called this particular deck. This deck is special for a few reasons. One, I don't think this cassette deck was ever used, and I'll show you why. First thing I noticed when I got it, it actually had the original plastic twist tie on here. Now, I took that off because it was getting really loose, and I replaced it just for now with a rubber band. Secondly, I noticed that this right here, and I'm going to do this live on camera, the plastic was still on the lens here. If I can pull this off, pardon me everybody. Now if you look at that, if I can put it up to the light real quick, you could see that it's only got like a little bit of dust on there. So I think this was actually stored in a box for a long time and maybe just taken out when they donated it to save space. The third reason I think this was never used is if you hit the eject button, if you guys can look in there, hopefully the light can do this justice. You can see the head right there. The head is absolutely pristine. The head is actually sitting right there where the top of my fingernail is. And it is absolutely clean. I mean, there is not a speck of dust on it. There's just some surface dust inside from the tape deck obviously sitting around. So let me go over some of the features of this. Onkyo, for those of you who don't know, is definitely a professional brand. Usually many... sorry about that, guys. Had to take a drink of water. Usually you find this brand in higher-end home theater setups. I know a good friend of ours, they own one of those big $1 million houses in a neighboring community, owns a lot of these Onkyo components. Some of the features of this include, it has auto reverse for both decks and a 2-motor computer control. Basically what this does, and this one's exactly the same, basically what this does is if you look at that head inside, for the auto reverse, what it does is it actually spins around, and that's how it gets both sides of the cassette. Some of them actually flip over. I think this one just spins. But see, when you're doing it, the side A, the head is up on the top there, but when you go to side B, this flips, and that part inverts to this side. And of course, this one works exactly the same way. Show you some of the buttons on here. Got your power on and off. This one's a hard on and off. I'm not sure why, but that's fine because my Pioneer stereo actually controls the power, so that's no big deal. We have timer record. So record and play. This is basically if you want to set it to play or record at a specific time. Do have Dolby B and C. When I record, if I'm using a Type 1 tape, I usually put it on B. If I'm using a metal tape, I'll just leave it to off. I don't usually use Dolby C because it really takes too much of the audio quality away. The reverse mode, so if the first one, it'll let you just go one way and stop. Second one, it'll keep turning around. And the third one is usually just it does one cycle. In other words, it does one side of the tape, then plays the other, and then just stops. Got the headphones there, the input level, and the balance. And then above here, of course, you have your basic controls: rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward. This one's actually, these are actually, I think, fast forward, the whole fast forward. This one is forwarding one track at a time. Now up here is where it gets interesting. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this actually has a record button for both cassette decks. That's right. This particular dual cassette player can record from either side A or B. And I love that feature because that way you don't wear out the record heads on the deck B. You go ahead, I can use A half the time when I record and B the other half the time. And for me that's very good because I do record quite a bit of tapes, and I have actually worn the record heads out on other dual cassette decks that I've had. Up there you have auto space. Not exactly sure what it is. They may have something to do with adding space between the tracks for songs, or maybe just queuing it up. If any of you guys know what auto space means in this case, please definitely leave a comment about that. Normal and high speed for dubbing, in other words, copying one cassette to another. And then up here we have the counter reset. And then deck A or B, so if you want to play from deck A or B, use this to switch between the two. But if it's like my other dual cassette players, it'll do that automatically once you put a cassette in. You just push the eject button and you put it in, and the computer component should detect which deck you're actually using. So let me tell you what, let me go ahead and get a cord and we'll go ahead and show you this in action. Alright, now that I have it plugged in, I'll go ahead and insert a cassette, and we'll go ahead and turn this on. Let me turn the light off so you guys can see this a little better. Power on. Shine a little more light on the situation. There we go. Alright, now that I got the power on, unfortunately I'm not going to be able to actually play it at cassette because of copyright music, but you know what, I'll just go ahead and show you the operation of this. Again, one thing I want to show you guys again was this reverse button. See, when I push that, right now it's in reverse mode, so it'll keep playing the cassette over and over again. Push it again, it'll stop after one round, in other words, playing one side. This particular one doesn't have that third option where it'll play the whole cassette, A and B, and then stop. My other Sony one does, but unfortunately that one is worn out. The heads are just totally gone on that, so this is going to be replacing that Sony. So let's see, let's go ahead and just press play. In this case, play is, they call it forward. That means it's just going the right way. It's not in the auto reverse mode. So we'll click forward. And I have tested this already, and the belts and everything seem to work just fine. So that's play. Go ahead and stop. Now, if you want to play side B on this, you don't have to take the cassette out and turn it over. You just push the reverse button, and as you can see, it plays it in the opposite direction. Go and hit stop. Forward and rewind work just fine on here. Nice and quick. And you don't have to hit stop because this is all computer controlled. And let's go ahead, I'll show you guys that deck B works okay. Does exactly the same. Forward. And you can see we're definitely getting some audio there. And reverse. Now, I will show you that you don't have to actually hit stop. You should just be able to hit reverse direction. And a lot of times that's what goes bad on these, is it'll play but it won't auto reverse itself. So if you're ever buying one of these for yourself, make sure you test all the functions before you actually make the purchase. In other words, go ahead and plug it in. Most thrift stores will let you go ahead and test them before you buy it. Now you can see right there, turn this off a little bit, I think the light's glaring too much. You can see right there, deck B is in play. That's showing that it's in the reverse mode, so it's playing side B now. And it's counting down. I think that's funny, so it actually counts down. And I only had it forward probably a couple of seconds, so that's why it stopped. The other side is the same. Right there it's showing deck B. If I pressed A, it would switch to deck A, and of course it's a different counter on there. Looks like this is a vacuum fluorescent display, and there are probably some things in here that aren't used. Let me see. Any artifacts. Let me turn on Night Shot and see if that helps. Ah, there we go. High-speed dubbing, record, play, side A or B. You know what? I guess this was the full feature deck, because I don't see any artifacting in here. In other words, I don't see anything that wasn't used. But I'm very, very happy to have this cassette deck. That other Sony I had's been going bad for a long time, and I did pay quite a bit for this compared to what I usually pay. I wound up paying $13, basically $12.98, and of course tax. But I mean, you couldn't ask for a nicer example of a high-end cassette deck. I mean, even if you look on top, there are literally no scratches on here whatsoever. Even the very glossy finish is almost perfect. The only flaw that I notice is there's a tiny little bit of scratching here from when the thrift store handled it. I might be able to get that off, but I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, this thing is in immaculate condition. Alright, and the last thing I want to show you guys is the back of this. Like most cassette decks, it's very simple. You have the line in, line out. In other words, to play it, you would take this line out and put that to the line in of your amplifier. And to record, you would take the line in from here and plug it to the line out of your amplifier. Very easy. And that will basically let you record from any device. So, just like my old one, if I want to record something from my 8-track, my 5-disc changer, my record player, or even, yes, my Windows 2000 system, I can record any of that to a cassette anytime I want. Next to that, we have the RI remote control unit. This is if you have other Onkyo components. You can use just a single, I think it's a 3.5mm jack, instead of using the RCA jacks, and you also have more control that way. In other words, you can use the universal remote control they give you to control basically everything. Nice feature, but unfortunately I don't have the other Onkyo components. Here's the actual model number on the back, and you guys can pause the video if you want to read this more, but it's model number TA-RW505, Onkyo Corporation, and it is made in Japan, like all the best electronics, unfortunately. And there's your caution label, Underwriter Laboratories testing sticker, and the serial number if anybody's interested. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because my battery's just about to die. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick review. And again, if YouTube ever changes their copyright policy, I'll let you guys hear what this sounds like. But until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.